Hello very much, and welcome back to another episode of Coffee Nick's Movie Picks. This is a podcast where I, your host, Nick Delaney, talk about movies and coffee side by side. For what reason? I'm not too sure. I have fun doing it though, so hey, that's all that matters. This is a very special series, part of the podcast called the DOLLY-THON. It's very special because I am joined by my dear friend and co-host, Gavin Hubbard, to talk about the films of, you guessed it, country music legend, Dolly Parton. She is known for her music, of course, but for this series, we want to focus on some of the incredible work she has done in the film industry. So, we're getting into that. This is part 3 of that series. Previously, we have talked about Steel Magnolias and The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, and we had so much fun talking about those. Be sure to check out those episodes if you have not already. And as part of the series, we have also made a companion playlist, of course, which you can access using the show notes. So, check those out. They're a lot of fun. A lot of big hits on there, but also some lesser known ones. Trying to be all related to her film career. That's just kind of the through line. But anyways, Gavin does not drink coffee. So it's just me right now. He'll join us later. And I want to talk about a coffee drink. Should we do that? The drink I would like to talk about today is a Kettle Corn Latte from Takoma Bev Co in Tacoma, which is kind of like a neighborhood that is half DC, half Maryland. It is all the way up on the red line for my DC people out there. And this was my first time venturing out to Tacoma. I went with a coworker and friend who had all great things to say about the town of Tacoma, the neighborhood. And he really wanted me to just see all the sights up there. And I was kind of sure, didn't quite believe him, but then I got there and I was like, wow, this really is such a lovely neighborhood, slash town. I don't know. It just felt so peaceful up there, and there were just parks and playgrounds and benches and all sorts of local cute little independent stores, small businesses. So yeah, just very charming, very, very charming area. And of course, while we were up there, we had to try out a coffee place. So we went here to Takoma Bev Co. This is a really cool spot. They aren't just a coffee house, of course. They have a very, very thorough food menu. They have all sorts of breakfast sandwiches, salads, even soups and desserts. But then they also have cocktails, wine. It's really nice. I'm pretty sure you can buy bottles of wine. You can, of course, buy coffee beans there. And different from many other coffee houses, they have a variety of different roasters available, all DC based or local to the DMV area, which I thought was really cool because you get some variety there. So very cool stuff. And the inside of the cafe is also just beautiful and lovely. Baristas are very nice. They have all sorts of different art on the walls, which I loved. Just a nice, friendly atmosphere, and truly a third place, which I love. If you don't know me, I love a third place. But I, of course, gravitate a lot towards the stranger sounding coffee drinks. So I wanted to try this Kettle Corn Latte, which I believe was or is a part of their seasonal menu. I was a bit nervous about this. I was a little nervy. I was like, I don't want my corn in my coffee. What are you talking about? Don't sound crazy. Don't be crazy. Corn in my coffee. Ugh. Ugh. But I was brave. And I ordered it. I did it. And you know what? Wasn't all that scary. It was not all that scary. I made it out to be crazy for what? It just really was it was almost just a sweetened latte, but not sweetened with your typical cane sugar or whatever, or your simple syrup. It was kind of a different type of sweetness. It was more of a toasty sweetness, maybe. Does that make sense? Maybe a little salty sweet flavor. I really liked it. It was a lot more subtle and laid back than I expected, but I think that is a good thing. So yeah, I really cannot wait to go back to Takoma Bev Co. I cannot wait to try their food and more of their coffee drinks. They got a lot of options, which is really nice. Which is really nice. And a lot of other businesses in the Tacoma area that I tried while I was up there and I recommend. Right around the corner is Motorcat, which had a wonderful happy hour. They had oysters and all sorts of different beers, really yummy food, and just like a cool atmosphere and all that. And then around the other corner, I'm going over a whole block here. There was this place called People's Books, which was People's Books. Sorry, I said that really fast, which was really lovely. And I went with my friend who I'm working on a zine with, which is a lot of fun. And they had a whole section dedicated just to zines. There were so many different zines. And actually, I didn't plan to talk about this, but it works out perfectly. They had a Dolly Parton zine. It's called Dolly Pardon. And it is actually Dolly's life story told through a comic book. So it's just like illustrated by someone. Who's this by? Oh, a variety of people. It's featuring comics by B.B. Anderson, Carolyn Cash, Eileen Chavez, and more. So yeah, it's a really cool like team effort. So fits into this episode really well. And the illustrations, I'm looking at them now, are just beautiful and so cute. Lots of different art styles, which I love. So yeah, really cool zines there. And of course, got to talk about it every episode. There was a zine on Twin Peaks called TV Grime, which says it's a works of love publication by Luke Geddes. I think I'm saying that right. Which has all sorts of like vintage TV ads, like a lot of Twin Peaks and X-Files and Desperate Housewives, Lost. And then, of course, like just a ton of articles on Twin Peaks. Just really cool stuff. I love zines. I love zines. They are so fun. They can be about anything. Anyone can make them. I love zines. I love Kettle Corn Lattes. I love Takoma Bev Co. I love life. I love life. Woohoo! Anyways, that's what I have to talk about. That is what I'm bringing to the table today. Did I even mention this episode we're talking about straight talk, which is basically, if this movie were made in 2026, it is a movie where Dolly Parton just stumbles into the life of a podcaster. But instead, it's made in like the 80s or 90s or something, and she's instead a radio host that gives advice on the air. Yeah. Support your local radio station. How about that? How about that? Okay, let's get into it. I think it's time to bring in Gavin to talk a little bit about Dolly Parton and carpet samples. I am here in the stude with the number one Dolly fan, expert, and educator there is. Everyone, please welcome back series co-host Gavin Hubbard.
Hey, how's it going?
I feel like you start like the same way every time. It's like,
Hey. That's so funny. Dylan sent me this guy on TikTok that has the same like vocal fry that I do. He's always like, "Hi, hey." So I guess it's like part of the brand or something at this point.
Maybe. And you also, I was either expecting that or I was expecting back again.
No, that's real. That is something that I would
It was like
say.
one or the other.
No,
Is what I was
that is
expecting.
so funny.
But hello, welcome back to part 3 of the Dolly-thon. I feel like we've been doing this for years now, but we're only on part 3. Um, but I guess it has been a while because
Since January.
yeah, that's crazy to think about. I guess we keep taking long gaps in between recording, but that's all right.
It's
That's all right.
healthy.
Yes, we catch our breaths, so to speak. But Gavin, what's up? What's new? What should the people know?
Well, I feel like I don't have anything to report. Like, just living life, trying to survive the heat, working 9 to 5.
Oh,
Hey, you see what I
Hey,
did there?
yes,
I
yes.
actually work 8 to 4:30, but that's besides the
Okay,
point.
okay.
So yeah, do I have anything exciting going on? We have the 4th of July coming up, but we're doing the gay version because we need to gay up the 250. So that's my
Gay up the
mission
250.
for this year. How about you?
Yeah.
What's new with you?
Well, speaking of 250, I recently bought a shirt from Bucky's. Shout out Bucky's. I was out where the Bucky's are located, where they roam free. I was out there for various reasons, and I was very hard pressed to find out that Bucky's, they have a shirt on display for every time of year, every single holiday. There's a shirt. When I went last time, they had a Halloween shirt. They have like a, you know, Grandparents' Day shirt or a Tax Day shirt or whatever. So I was expecting to see a Pride shirt. They did not have that.
Girl, at Bucky's? Come
I
on.
mean, they have
No.
every single shirt. Um, but they did have America 250 shirts, and it's this bright red shirt with Bucky's wearing like the Uncle Sam hat. And on the back, it said, I love America and Bucky's. And 250.
Yes.
And I would wear that. I bought it, so obviously I planned on wearing it, but I wondered how I could wear that and not be misconceived as, you know, someone wearing red. And so I need to find a way to style that shirt in a way that's like I'm celebrating this America and not that America. If that
Yeah,
makes
I
sense.
feel like a simple crop, like make it
Yeah.
slutty. Like I feel like
Mm.
my inspiration for this 4th of July is like Meg Stalter, Slater,
Mm.
Chappell Roan vibes, where they like take America and make it like gay.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially like the stuff that
Yeah.
Slater's been doing. You know, she
I
like makes all of her outfits.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know if I've talked about this on the show yet, but I plan on doing that in a future episode. I'm a huge Slater fan, and I really love like her Worst Girl in America aesthetic. I think it's so cool. And we're sitting here on July 2nd recording this, and the rumor on the streets is that there might be a Worst Girl in America Part 2 coming out tonight. So we'll just see what happens. Fingers
Fingers
crossed.
crossed.
Yeah. But Madonna, her album is coming out tonight, which
Confessions 2,
so
not to be confused with Confessions 1.
right. I'm actually quite excited about that.
I am too. Like, I've never like been a Madonna girly just because it's like low key outside my age range. No shade, no shade, no shade to the the elder gay community.
Yes.
But I like Madonna except for like the hits, like Vogue,
Yeah.
like a prayer. Like I haven't really followed her stuff, but this time like she's bringing Sabrina on. Like I think she kind of did
Yeah.
that to pull in some of the younger gays. Like it feels like more for me this time around. So I'm excited
Yeah.
to enjoy it.
It based on the singles, it definitely feels like a rent is due type album where it's like, okay, girl, you gotta put your whole fang into this. Like the singles just like are such peak quality, I think. I'm really excited to hear it. So we'll see tomorrow morning how I feel.
Yeah.
Wait, tomorrow morning? Saturday morning?
I think it's tomorrow. They come out Thursday at midnight, so
Okay.
like
Okay.
Friday.
So yeah, I'll be there. I'll be tuning in.
Locked in.
Anyways, let's get into our coffee thought, and this is basically an outlet. Anyways, let's get into our coffee thought, and this is basically an outlet for us to talk about whatever we would like. So, Gavin, what would you like to talk about today?
Love. So my coffee thought is I feel like you and I, and everybody, but you and I specifically, need to get into this like fantasy that Meg and that gay little straight guy from Hacks have been doing, where they like commit to a bit
Yes.
and then they like bring everyone in on the bit. Like
Yes.
out in public though.
What's it? Paul Downing? Is that it?
I think.
Okay.
I'm not like positive, but I just call him the gay little straight guy because it's like shocking to me that he's not gay. Maybe he's bi. We stand with bi people. But I think we need more of that in our lives.
Paul Downs. I was
Okay,
close.
close.
Yes, I agree. And come to think of it, there's actually like quite a few examples of this. I think of the Twink and the Redhead, where it's like just this bit that has become like this national sensation, at least in our circle.
Hmm.
It's become like this huge hit. Um, and there are other examples, I'm sure. Can you think of any others?
Um, yeah, sure.
Abraham Lincoln and Mary Todd Lincoln back in the
Yes,
day,
yes,
yeah.
yes. Um, but yeah, I think we should start doing that. I feel like we had a little bit of a test run that one night that we went out to JR's and we ran into that man and then he was like very drunk and he was like telling us that he was in love with that guy. Like we could have like he didn't first of all he was very drunk. He wouldn't have remembered any of it. We should have like committed to the bit.
Yeah.
He asked us if we were like married. We should have just committed to the bit and said we were married. Or like I think we could have taken it a step farther and we could have like done this bit where I was engaged to a woman and you were like my best man and we were there at JR's to celebrate and see like how far we could get him to like believe it. Which
I think
I don't know. We could try, but I like give gay, 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 gay. So
we both come from a theater background. You know, this
yeah,
you especially. I mean, mine dropped off in high school, but yeah, I think we could have made that work.
I
And
think
you
yeah,
know what? We plan on going out tonight after this recording, so
we should pick a
let's
bit.
pilot it. Let's pilot it.
Is that going to be the bit?
Um, yeah,
We
sure.
could do something more believable, but I feel like part of the fun is making it like so crazy that it's unbelievable. Like I think that's
Yeah.
what works so well for them.
I think my issue is with bits is that I try to start one with everybody, but some people I've learned while living in the District of Columbia, some people do not have a sense of humor. And there's a difference between having a sense of humor and being gullible. Like
Mhm.
you could be gullible and be like, "Oh wait, like that's funny," like after you realize. But some people just do not have a sense of humor, and I could be like, they'll ask how old I am, and I'll be like, "Oh, I'm 17." Just like so, I'll think of something stupid to say. That's a bad example, but like think of something stupid to say, and they're just like, "Oh, really? Where are you from?" And it's just like there's no and I feel like the point of a bit is to get a
You
reaction.
need a volley. There needs to
Yes,
be a
yes.
volley.
There's no volley in DC, I feel like. And it's like, really? Who do you work for? And it's like, oh my gosh. I could say, oh, I actually work for the National Rifle Association. And they're like, okay, well, like, how long have you been there? And
Yeah.
it's like, girl,
They
pick
hate a
up,
yes
pick up.
and.
I
They
know,
need
I
more of a yes
know.
and.
And I'm almost like, are you brainwashed? Like this is mean, but it's like I don't know. Like pick up on this. Like run with it a little bit. Like be like, oh, you work for the National Rifle Association. What's your favorite rifle? Something or like
Uh,
it doesn't have to be good. Just do it. I mean, snatch game
I
rules.
think
You know,
we are just such fun, deep people that like the general public just can't keep up with us. Because,
the Gen Pop.
yes,
Yeah.
that's a really Dolly thing to say. She's always like, the public. Have you heard her say that in like interviews? She's
Yes.
like, I owe this to the public. It's always the public. It's not like my fans or things like that. I mean, she does say my fans, but it's always like the public.
I mean, she is now the most famous person or most beloved person in America. So, or is it the world? She beat,
Kind of the world.
yeah.
Well, I don't know if it's actually the world,
Well,
but
like
it's giving the world. It's giving the
something
world.
I saw a post from like Puberty or something that was like Dolly Parton, most loved person in America. You've heard of worst girl in America? Get with this. Best girl in America. Hello.
Eh.
So like I guess her fans are just the public.
Well, that's fair.
That's fair.
She's everywhere. I mean, on Dolly Parton's America, they had like that whole like segment about Dolly being a part of like international cultures too. There was like those like
Yeah.
prisoners in some other country that were like listening to Dolly and
Or like that one small town in it was either like Africa or the Middle East that was listening to Tennessee Mountain Country Home.
yeah, which is so
Yeah.
crazy. And then there's that British girl that wrote that Pilgrimage to Dollywood that's like,
Yes. I have it. I
you
have it
mean
right here.
I
Right.
have
No,
it
no, I actually have it in
and
my
you
it's
have
in my
it
room. It's
physically
in my studio.
here.
Yes, yes. I recently came across this book, Pilgrimage to Dollywood. I'm excited to read it and keep it forever.
Not too
Yeah.
much. Not too...
Um, okay, so we're starting a bit tonight. That's the coffee thought.
Yes, we need to do a bit tonight. Let's lock in on that and figure out what we need it to be.
You
But
know,
yeah,
Slater, she says, I'm doing drugs tonight. Once I'm not prescribed, I'm doing bit tonight.
I'm doing bit tonight.
I'm doing bit tonight. Ones that I'm not derived.
Well,
One
we're
that
off to a
is
good start. We're off
one
to a
that
good
is
start.
not derived.
Hey,
Ooh. Wait,
that
wait,
was a
wait.
lot like deeper than I was gonna go with it.
Yes.
Love.
Right. Okay. The people have the public has had enough. Let's let's get to the point. Let's get to the point of this discussion, you and me sitting here. We are here, I haven't even mentioned this yet, but we are here to discuss Straight Talk, which famously is a Dolly Parton film that we are discussing in this Dolly-thon. A bit about the movie. After losing her job and breaking up with her abusive partner, Shirley, an honest small town dance instructor played by Dolly Parton, moves to the big city of Chicago to find work. Eventually, she ends up as a receptionist at a radio station where she accidentally becomes a nationally beloved radio talk show host. The catch? Her newfound fame is built on a lie. Straight Talk is directed by Barnett Kellman. It was released on April 3rd, 1992. Okay, Gavin, give us the rundown. What's the research? What do you got?
Girl, I know. I feel like I didn't do enough research this time around, but I can tell
Okay.
you what I thought of the movie.
Well, okay. My research, not much, not much. I can give you like as I often do, the box office angle of this. It was released to mixed reviews. A lot of people praised the performances here, specifically Dolly and James Woods' performance. James Woods plays the romantic interest journalist guy, who I can't remember the name of. But they criticized the plot overall. But the movie seems to be a commercial success. It made a couple million in the box office, which I guess is a good sign. I think it premiered at number 4 on the worldwide scale. Dolly made 10 original songs for the film, which is really cool, and it included a re-recording of "Light of a Clear Blue Morning," um, which I feel like isn't something to be proud of. But
It's fun.
I actually much prefer the original songs to the re-recording of "Light of a Clear Blue Morning."
For
Um,
sure.
yeah, but
It was like, it's very 90s if you haven't listened to it. It's a lot of like, well, like late 80s, early 90s, a lot of synth, a lot of like saxophone, like,
yeah, yeah. It is very much like on whatever late night talk show, I think it's Jimmy Fallon, when they have you sing a song in a different
mhm.
genre. It is exactly that. And part of me was just like, why not just play the original right now? Because I feel like when they played that in the film, it was already kind of like a melancholy, introspective part. So I think it could have just been like this like sad moment. Um, but they jazzed it up.
They did. It's like
Yeah.
not a ballad anymore. It's very like upbeat.
Yeah, they try to make it like pop songish.
Yes, for
But
sure.
anyways, tell me what you've watched this movie before. This was my first time watching it. So tell me like your history with this movie.
So I saw this movie probably in middle school when I first like started getting into Dolly, and that was like I think the first and last time I ever watched it. I think I only watched
Wow.
it one time, which is kind of rare for me. But I think it kind of tracks. Like the themes in this movie are like a little bit more like for an adult palette, like about like personal issues and things. I mean, it's still a comedy, but I guess it just wasn't something that like really stuck with me as like a Dolly fan.
Yeah.
So actually when we were rewatching it this week, it was like kind of seeing it for the first time again because it'd been so long since I've seen it. Um, but it was good. I don't know why I didn't give it more love than I gave her other movies. It's very good.
Yeah, I was really surprised by this one. I think in the last episode I talked about like, oh, we're not doing 9 to 5 yet because we need to get kind of like the not as good movies out of the way first before we get to like the movie of the series. But so I went into this kind of very low expectations, or at least thinking like this is just going to be very cut and dry, nothing really special about it. But I was pleasantly surprised. I really enjoyed my time with this movie. I definitely have like a list of critiques for it, but I think that the pacing was extraordinary. Like this movie just flew by. It was so much fun. And the characters were actually really interesting and really deep, I thought, which I wasn't expecting. I was kind of thinking it would be more like cardboard cutout characters, but they did a really good job with this. So tell me like about the start of the movie. What did you think about the opening?
I love the start of the movie. Like, we mentioned this um off mic, but there's like a lot of these like fun little interludes towards the beginning where she's like singing background vocals. I was like, is this the first Dolly movie that has like Dolly background vocals? Like, it's so iconic. I mean, you can talk about what you compared it to.
Yes. To me, it instantly was like Hannah Montana, where, of course, if you've seen Hannah Montana for the my age generation out there, they would have like interludes where Miley Cyrus sang them, be like, "Whoa, whoa," stuff like
Yes.
that.
Ooh,
Um,
yeah.
it has become like this iconic thing. And that was like very here in this movie, and I'm almost like, what if this is where like Miley got it from?
Right. This is the blueprint.
Right.
But like that's the first thing that I like noticed going into the movie because they start doing those very early on. And then like going from there, it's like this is like kind of the first time that Dolly's written a whole like of course she wrote songs for 9 to 5 and things, but this is the first time that she's like written multiple songs and that's the title track and then the reworked version of Light of Clear Blue Morning. So that was like the first thing that like really like caught me starting the movie was wow, like they actually are using Dolly's like musical talents. I mean, in Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, she was singing, but it was like musical theater and like the songs had already been written.
Right.
So it was cool to like have a movie that has like Dolly's songwriting in it as well.
It is really cool. I could imagine like some viewers though that are not as big of Dolly fans though being a little disoriented by it because it's like, oh well, she's singing in the background, but I don't see her singing. But it's like
Right.
clearly her that's singing.
Yeah.
So I could definitely see that angle if
I
someone's
feel
bothered
like
by it.
you were kind of feeling that too, because you
Yeah.
looked over to me and you said, "Is this a musical?" And I said, "It's not a musical now. It's just her singing in the background."
Honestly, I don't know if I was pleased or upset that it wasn't a musical. It could
Right.
have gone either
I
way.
feel like this would make a good musical. Like it's
I
like
think
a
so
cutesy
too.
enough plot, and they've been doing like Pretty Woman the musical. Like they've been redoing a lot of these like 90s rom-coms, 80s and 90s rom-coms into musicals. So I feel like this would be a good contender.
I think so too. I think it would really work. A little bit about like what I thought of the beginning of the movie. Again, I was kind of like thrown off by the singing, not singing part of it.
Yeah.
And also there was like she started out as a dance instructor, so I was like, "Oh, dancing is like an element." But like no, it's not. I feel like the beginning and the ending of this movie are very similar for variety of reasons, but to talk about the beginning first, I think it was weird how much was being thrown at us right away and how like little homework the movie was doing to catch us up to that. Like it was like, oh, she lost her job and she split off with her partner of however many years. And it felt like there was no real emotional impact with the character. And it's kind of where I critique like the performances of this movie a little bit. Maybe it was the directing. The director like didn't instruct this well enough, but like you would not be able to tell that Dolly just like had the worst day of her life. Like it was very much like, oh, well, I lost my job and my boyfriend, I just broke up with him, so
Time to
I'm
move to
just
Chicago.
gonna move to the city and there's gonna be like a happy song playing in the background when I do that. Like the tone of the movie was like not matching what we were seeing. And I love movies that toss you right into the action and just get it started like this one did, but it almost wasn't like at pace with itself.
Hmm.
And I feel like it needed like a very slow, like introspective opening rather than like, oh gee, like time to go to
I
Chicago, like let's
know.
go.
It
Um,
was very like cut.
yeah,
Like we were going.
I agree. But it was very quickly that I realized how much I was enjoying the movie. Very early on, like right after all of this, is when she's in Chicago. and the dollar bills fly out of her purse or something, and she's on a bridge. And of course, like the dollar bill lands on the other side of the railing, and she's trying to catch it because she's so poor. And she's like reaching over the side for this $20 bill, and she goes over the railing and she's like on the ledge, and she tries like getting it with her heel, and then she sticks a piece of gum to her heel and she's trying to get it with like the goopy heel with the gum stuck on it. And that's when I realized to not take this film seriously. And I was like, oh wait, I'm having a good time, like this is camp.
Right. It's like clownery. It's just like, okay, basically just enjoy it.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I wrote that down too. I loved that scene where she was like, because it's like Dolly and Glam like hanging off the side of a bridge. And I think it's like nighttime, like it's the middle of the night or something.
I think it was like right at dawn. Like,
Yes,
it's like
right.
barely coming up.
Yeah. And trying to get those dollar bills with her heel with the gum. Also, like, I feel like how was the dollar bill just sitting there? It definitely should have
Right.
like blown away
Like the
by
wind
now.
stopped
Yeah.
right when she got off the other
Suddenly there's
side.
no
Yeah.
wind. And then like she gets rescued.
Well, does she get rescued? Well, and then
No.
it's like the meet cute. She meets this journalist, and like he's trying to save her, but just making her more stressed out. And she's like, "Oh my gosh, you're trying to push me off the ledge!" Blah 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 blah. And of
Because
course,
he thought that she was suicidal. Of
yes,
course.
yes,
This beautiful woman hanging off a bridge, she must be
in
suicidal.
full glam, yes.
Love.
So yeah, that's when we meet this other character. Do you remember his name? Jack.
I don't remember his name.
Jack.
Jack?
It's
That's an
Jack.
easy one.
I wrote it down.
Love.
So we have Shirley and Jack. And I kind of like how these characters are positioned, where she goes to the diner and she meets this girl who's like having all these troubles. And the thing about Shirley is that she loves to give advice to people. So she's giving advice to this girl about her awful partner, blah, 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 blah. And then we come to find out that that partner is Jack, who just saved her from the bridge. So I like how like all these things are kind of connected. I really like these two characters and that they have like very strong agendas and personalities. What did you think about them, the two main ones?
Yeah, I thought it was great. I feel like sometimes when you have movies that have like these plot lines that are going different directions, it's always like, oh God, are these going to ever come together in the end? But I felt like this, the way this was written was very intentional, and you could feel like them weaving in and out of each other's life by chance.
Yeah.
So I thought it was really well done. And yeah.
Yeah, I almost wish they kind of went into it a little bit more, because we had like Shirley, who at this point in the plot, like, was skyrocketing and being so successful on her radio show and everything. And at this time is when Jack was going back to her life in this small town in Arkansas. And I liked kind of like that, not to use a cliche word, but just juxtaposition, and how different they ended up. And I at one point wrote down like I can't tell if I'm rooting for them to get together or if I hate Jack, because you know he's like trying to put out this piece on her, a negative piece
An
on
expose.
Shirley. Yeah. So at one point in the script or in the movie, I was kind of thinking like I hate this guy and I want him to be the villain, but eventually the film like makes me really want them to get together. So it really like put me through all differing feelings, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I like never trusted him for obvious
Yeah.
reasons. And then when they like got together at the end, even then I was like, I still don't like that you had negative thoughts about Shirley.
Yeah.
How dare you? Um, but yeah, I mean it's a rom-com, so I was like, well, they're gonna make it work at the end.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, she has to end up with someone. Unfortunately, I would love a version where she's just like a successful radio host, but I knew she had to end up with basically him. He was the only option, right?
Yeah,
There was
he's
her
the guy.
manager guy, but I think he was kind of gay coded.
Yeah, they were making some gay jokes here and there about him.
Yeah.
Because he's like, was he the one that's like, I have to tell you something? And she goes, you're gay? Is it that one? Is it
think
that
so.
character?
Well, he also kissed a man on the lips
He
in the radio
did.
station. Yeah.
He kissed a
You're
man on the
gay?
lips when she was on that TV show.
Yeah.
Which that was like, I felt like that was an intense scene when she was on that talk show where
Yeah.
the host was trying to like get her in a gotcha moment. I was like, wait, am I on the edge of my seat right now?
Yeah, that's like one of the moments of the movie where I realized I was like, wait, this is actually like, in terms of a rom-com, it's very like edge of your seat, very thrilling. Even though one of my critiques about the movie is that the stakes are honestly so low. I mean, like honestly, what's gonna happen? They reveal that she's not actually a doctor.
I mean, it's a radio show, girl. She's not like practicing.
Right, right.
It's
And
like, come on.
yeah, so the stakes are very low, and of course, like she has like all this success and like fandom built up already, but like you kind of see it coming where it's like, okay, well, girl, they're gonna love you either way. Like it's just the
Right.
industry people that care about you being a doctor or not. Even that is stupid. So the stakes are very low, but it was still like such a thrilling ride the whole way through. Like very snap, 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 I think.
It was. I really enjoyed it. And I like another moment that I really loved, when she was like looking for this job. Like, I guess she didn't
Oh
really
yeah,
look for this job. It kind of found her. I don't think we really talked about that.
yeah.
But she like had to go on a huge job hunt because she was, of course, escaping her abusive man and like had moved to the big city. And there's that moment where she was like looking at the newspaper and like circling the jobs
With
in red
lipstick.
nail
Oh, nail
polish.
polish.
And that was so iconic.
Yes.
She gets the job because she shows up at this radio station and was gonna be like the receptionist, and she's like low key flop at it. Like it's like, Shirley, what can you do? You can talk. So, and then she like goes looking for coffee, and like they just think that she's the doctor because they have like a similar last name or something.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, it's
It's like
stupid.
so silly. It's like very,
But
very.
it's like very like it's kind of like the hijinks that are missing in today's movies. Where it's like, oh, I'm just looking for coffee. Hope I don't end up on a
No.
nationally broadcast radio show. It's like it's so stupid, but like that's what the people want. That's what the public
Yeah.
wants.
Do we like try to make things make too much sense these
I
days? Is
think we
that our
do.
issue?
I think we're afraid of not making sense.
Right. I, yeah, just like, sure, what the hell? She got the job because they
Yeah,
thought she was a doctor. What the hell? It's
it was good.
fine.
It was good. One kind of like I want to start painting like big Dolly-thon pictures here, and like identifying through lines that I really like in all of these movies. But one thing I picked up on in this one that was actually like struck a really beautiful chord with me is just kind of like the Dolly experience in a movie. And I mentioned this during the Best Little Whorehouse in Texas episode where I was talking about um Monet, and her name's Monet, Miss Monet,
Not Monet. Monet Exchange. It's
Miss Mona,
Miss Mona.
Miss Mona. And I was saying like, who else would play this part? Like Dolly is the best part for it, and it's almost like the part plays her. I don't know what I meant by that, but um, yeah.
Yeah, what the hell?
And this one I was thinking about like this experience of like a small town person with kind of like very naive expectations or like rose colored glasses looking at the world moving towards the big city, and how everyone in a big city is sort of just cynical and they will lie their way to the top. They will like cheat to the top. They'll do this, they'll do that. And it's kind of like this moral conflict of what does like that small town country person do in an environment like this. And I think that is something that is so unique to Dolly. And that is like a performance or a story that Dolly was built to tell. And that's something I noticed in this one. It's just kind of like the moral conflict of like these differing American backgrounds of like small town America versus big city America, and how it's like honest versus dishonest or optimist versus cynical. I know I'm painting like very deep and broad strokes here, but it's just something I picked up on in this movie, and I think something that speaks largely to who Dolly is as a person.
Yeah, I think that when she was like going out for these roles, she definitely found roles that like were true to like her heart. Like it's a lot of like rags to riches. Like that's her big
Yeah.
thing, is like going from a one bedroom cabin with like 12 of her siblings to like becoming this huge like icon. And that seems to be a through line in a lot of the movies that she's in. She also like at least in all the movies that we've watched so far, she's always playing like a working class person. She's
Right.
never like a celebrity or something. It's like always something that's very real to Dolly Parton as a person. And I think those like for acting, like the best performances by actors are the ones where you can find like truth in your own story, and I think that's why
Mhm.
she does so well with these roles.
Yeah, and I really like kind of like films or performances where it's like almost sort of autobiographical. I'm not saying that every performance or film is, but I like when you can find like something you relate to in the character and be able to like, oh, I can give this part of myself to this character. And I think about like the character from Steel Magnolias and how like that character was very much like a sage and very wise, but also like the heart of the community. And I think about Best Little Whorehouse and how that character was very like open and proud of her sexuality and her business, and how she still had like this dream of being like a ballerina. I think that's one other thing is that all of these characters are kind of like dreamers and lovers in a way, that I think is very unique to like how Dolly is, or at least how she presents to be. So again, like I just don't know who else would play these characters except for Dolly, and it's kind of just like a right place at the right time. Like, thank God Dolly was around to play these parts, because
Hmm.
who else would have done it?
I do think something that's unique about this movie is we've talked in the past about like being afraid that Dolly was just gonna like play herself. This one, it did feel a little bit more like, okay, this is
Yeah,
Dolly. This is just Dolly.
I agree.
More than like some of the other things
So to
we've
backtrack
seen.
on everything I just said, but no, I agree. Like this is like the first one where I feel like, oh, they wrote this part knowing who Dolly Parton is and knowing her brand. But that might be a good thing because it made it so enjoyable. And I do want to talk about the quotes in this movie
Very
because,
Dolly.
I mean, I know you were laughing, but there were several times where I was like knee slapper laughing. Like I thought this was a riot. Specifically when her and Jack are first getting together, and she bought like her own penthouse apartment with her own money, and she's like refurbing it and all that. And they're like just getting together, and they're in the car like outside of her apartment building, and Dolly turns to Jack and is like, "Do you want to come up and look at the carpet samples?"
That was
Um,
so good.
I at work the next day, I told all of my coworkers about it. I was like, "You would not believe this quote from this movie. I love it so much." That was good. That was
Honestly,
good.
that feels like something that I would say or do. Like I'd be on a date with a man and be like, "You want to come look at my carpet samples?" And then we're just like actually, it's like not an innuendo. We're just actually looking at the carpet samples
That's
that I picked
what
out.
made it even funnier was that the next shot was like them looking at carpet
Yes,
samples
the most
together.
hideous color carpet
Right, like
ever, by the way.
a burnt red and like an olive green.
Yeah,
I was
that
like,
very like late 80s, early 90s where they were like carpeting the bathroom. That's what the colors were giving.
don't do that. Don't do
I
that.
said, put that down. But that was so good.
Another good quote was when in that montage of her finding jobs, um, really funny, but like there was like this one shot of her like doing this really silly dance, and it was just like this very like wholesome like dance, like waving her arms back and forth and like swinging her hips, and then it cuts to the men watching her, and you're like, "Show us your tits."
Yeah.
And it really you see the outside of the building, and she was in a strip club auditioning to be a dancer, which was
Yeah.
so funny. Uh,
Very like pearl coated in that moment.
yes, the dance. If you've seen Pearl, it was exactly what Pearl does.
Yeah, that was a great line.
The music, I thought was really good.
Yeah.
Aside from the fact that it was like weird at first getting used to Dolly singing it,
Hmm.
I thought the original songs were really catchy.
So catchy.
Yeah,
I feel like Straight Talk could have the song Straight Talk could have had some of the same momentum that 9 to 5 had. Like it's been stuck in my head since I've
yeah,
seen the movie.
yeah.
It's just very like it's like very like catchy and grabby.
I
I
think
don't know.
so
I
too.
like it a lot.
I like it. Maybe we're just flops.
Hey,
Maybe we're
maybe we're just pops.
9 to 5 deprived right now.
Huh.
Um, it's weird that a lot of her job centers around like, or a lot of her roles center around a job. It's
Yeah,
interesting.
I said like she's a working class girl
Yeah.
in all these movies. I mean, 9 to 5, she's in the office, stealing magnolias. She's working the hair salon. Like she's always doing something.
Yeah,
She's a businesswoman.
exactly, exactly.
Okay, so with the outfits in this movie, like the costumes, they were kind of giving. I really loved them. They were very like businesswoman chic. Like it was a lot of like cute little blazers, but like dolly-fied, like shoulder pads, like very like kind of busty. They were so cute. That outfit that she wears like her first time in Chicago, I really love that. I'm a sucker for like a polka dot look. So that
Yes.
little like polka dot thing that she's wearing, I think with a denim jacket.
Yes.
First of all, it feels very of the time. Like I feel like when I was growing up in the 90s, growing up in the 90s, I was born towards the end of the 90s, but that it feels like very like something that my mom would wear, like a little polka dot dress with like a denim jacket. I
Yeah.
think that look is so cute. The hair in this movie,
The hair is really
I'm
good.
obsessed with. This is like the era of Dolly where she has like the mullet look where it's like very like fringy in the front and then like very like straight slick back in the
Yes.
back. So iconic. I love like the women's mullet look.
Yes. I want to start wearing wigs like this. Would
I
that be
want to
weird?
wear wigs.
I want. Do you want to wear wigs?
Do you wear wigs? Will you wear wigs? I will wear wigs. I will wear
I
that
would wear
mullet,
these.
that blonde mullet wig. The hair also felt, well, I guess it's big in every movie, but for some reason it really felt like there was lots of volume
Yeah.
in the wigs.
Yeah, they were really good. I will say the outfits did not stick out to me as much in this movie. I know there were a few times where I think I turned to you and I was like, work. There were good ones, but not quite ones I remember.
Right.
Like I feel like, especially coming off of Best Little Whorehouse, that one had ones that actually floored me and that I think about in my dreams and in nightmares, lying awake in the middle of the night. Like
Yes.
the red dress, the black and silver dress, like legends, icons, monumental. This one just didn't have any of those for me, which I feel like Dolly brings those
Mhm.
outfits that I will remember. So strange, like this one just didn't have it really.
Well, I said it reminds me of my mom, so that's not really a good sign to start with. But yeah, definitely in like the hierarchy of like Dolly movies with costume wise is probably towards the bottom. It's very like realness, like business realness.
Right. Who knows? Maybe we'll see Rhinestone and we'll be floored.
I'm nervous for that one, but yes, we'll see. We'll see how that
I
goes.
know. So Rhinestone's going to be an issue because it's not accessible anywhere.
Well, I have it
And
on VHS,
you have it on
so
VHS.
we'll rip that VHS player out from under my dresser and we'll
Oh, Lord.
watch it. Hopefully it still works. It
Yeah.
did the last time I used it.
I'm sure that like we will find a way to watch it. If
The lost
not,
tapes.
the lost tapes. Yeah.
I mean we can talk more about this when we get to that episode, but I am so curious if we can find out why it's disappeared. Why
Why
it's
she's
lost
gonna like
media.
say a slur in it or something.
I hope
I hope
not.
not either. Yeah, I hope not too. I hope not too.
Crazy.
Okay. One other thing that stuck out to me in this movie is I talked a little bit about how in the beginning it wasn't very introspective or contemplative, which I did not like. But I think it definitely does get there later in the movie, especially when we see Dolly in her apartment when she's first starting out. She's like touring the apartment, and it is very clearly like horrible, like smallest apartment you've ever seen, very ugly, just bad. And she's like, yep, I guess it works. And there's kind of like this sadness coded on her, like that she's acting out, that I don't know, really stuck out to me. And there's like this scene where she's on the phone talking to someone. Who is she talking to? I think her ex.
Her, not her husband, her boyfriend. Yeah, she was on the phone.
Yeah. And it was like kind of like the only person she had to call.
Yeah.
And of course, he didn't care about how she was
He's, yeah.
doing.
He said, "Where's my bowling bag?"
Yes, yes. Um, yeah, it was like moments like that where it was really sad and like quiet and um yeah,
I mean, she has like kind of a sad life when you think about it. Like the
yeah,
reason that she's even in Chicago is because she got fired from her job because they didn't F with her. They're just like,
yeah.
"Oh, well, you're fired." And then she has an abusive husband. Like it's kind of a miracle that she has such a like a positive attitude.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I guess like the bridge scene kind of like feels completely different, like talking about this aspect of the movie, but it is really sad. And I'm not saying I'm glad that they included scenes like this because they were so sad, but when compared to like the start of the movie when all of these horrible things are happening, it makes sense that this character is going through something. So I appreciate that they added this element to the movie, especially Dolly being in it, and we've talked about like her mental health, that
Mhm.
her struggles that she's gone through. I think it kind of like gives these moments a whole new meaning. So very like profound and beautiful, I thought.
Yeah, and there's like even more like emotional moments like towards the downward spiral of her character towards the end when she has the run-in with that, I wouldn't say a fan, but a member of the public. She has a run-in with a member of the public that's like, you're the reason that my husband left me. He lied. He didn't tell you the whole truth, but you're the reason why we do have kids, and now I'm stuck at home with the kids, and he's not telling you that I am in recovery and I'm trying to be better about my alcoholic issues, and like
Yeah.
he's not telling you his baggage. So that was like really, it was intense.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up because I feel like I would have forgotten about that otherwise. But I think that also gave like a whole nother element to this movie. And I actually wrote down on here, kind of talking about like how this movie hits like the depersonalization that comes with stardom, and how she kind of had like a crisis of identity and being like, who am I? Am I still like this small town country girl who like prides herself on being honest, or am I
Mhm.
now this like socialite in the big city who is very cynical and will do whatever I can to get to the top? um so like I said earlier, kind of like this conflict in morals. But yeah, and it talks a lot about, I think this movie does hit on like fandom a bit too, and like how it's kind of hard to deal with fans sometimes because they'll do shit like that.
Hmm.
And then also how it can like recuperate in your professional life. um yeah.
Yeah, I mean that it was an intense moment. It kind of led to the point towards the end where she ends up quitting the radio show.
Right. Yeah, so talking about the ending a bit, I think it's like the perfect ending because everything comes to a head. Like we have all of these different elements going on. Like her ex comes back into her life and tries to mess everything up and tries to like get back together. It's like awful and messy. And then she's also like on the rocks with this journalist guy, Alex? Jack.
Jack.
She's on the rocks with him, so that's not going too well. And then also like she is being elevated to this national level where she doesn't feel comfortable in the first place. So all of these things kind of come together. But I think another one of my critiques is that the ending didn't really work too well for me. And I think that it was almost, it feels weird to say this about this movie, but it was almost too cliche and too
It
rom-commy.
was very rom-com.
Yeah, and it was kind of like the guy catching her on the side of the street saying
On the
like,
bridge where they met,
on
by
the
the
bridge where they
way.
met at night, and he was saying like, this could be perfect. Why don't we work it out? Blah blah blah. And of course, like all the honking of the horns, and he was like, "That's what it means. The honking is for you, Shirley.
Yes,
It's all for you."
because they like someone calls into the radio station once Shirley's off and they're like, we need to do something big for her to show her that we love her.
Yeah,
Let's all fucking honk our horns at midnight. That'll show her that we love
that
her.
shit would piss
That is
me
crazy.
off.
I was like, that's your idea? It's also like before technology, so like I guess honking your horn is the only thing you got to do
Bro, what
anyway.
are they gonna do? Go on their Instagram story, Instagram notes, free
I
Shirley.
stand with Shirley. Yes. No, that's all they got. That's what
I
they
guess
had
so.
back
They
in the
just had their
90s.
horns. They had their
I
horns.
wrote down that I said I need a shirt that says I honked my horn for Dr. Shirley.
I bet we could
Like
make that.
need that on a shirt. I honked my horn for Dr. Shirley.
Oh my god.
It's so goofy. It's
It
so
is.
goofy.
And like something about the ending, I feel like they were throwing everything they could at you to get an emotional response.
Hmm.
Because like the honking the horn thing, I didn't even think that was like a really good quote. But I think like whoever wrote this movie was expecting that that quote would be a hit, so they made it like a central plot element. And there were other things where like, oh, I'm not a biscuit on the, what was that stupid ass quote?
Did Dolly say
It
it?
was something like, I'm not biscuit on the inside. There's like this quote about
What?
like
I do not
nut
remember this.
biscuit. What is it? Ah, it's just something
I
stupid
may
about
be
like
a biscuit, but I'm not buttered on the outside.
it's not that, but it is to that effect. And they also said that during like this whole honking the horns thing, and I was like, oh my god, very cringy. They were just throwing anything and seeing what stuck. They were like, hey, remember this quote from the movie? Do you remember this part?
Mm,
And of course, then the movie ends.
but I loved it.
I
But
loved
you
it.
know what? I ate it up. I ate it up. They kiss in that like 90s, 80s saxophone starts playing in the background, like as they're
Street
like
talk,
making out.
street talk.
Yes. You know what?
I
It's
loved
terrible,
it.
but I loved
You know,
it.
this movie had so many issues, but I'm starting to learn that the good movies do. Yeah.
Yes.
I really loved it. This is a nitpick for sure for me. I enjoyed my time with it. I'm amazed by the pacing that this movie had. Was having the time of my life, flew by. I really like the characters. I really like how this is building like a through line for Dolly movies. Yeah, it was good. I laughed. I had fun.
What the hell? I had fun, and that's what matters. I feel a similar way. Like it's not that deep. I enjoyed it. I giggled. I got a little like choked up at some moments.
Yeah.
Sure. I didn't cry, but I got a little like, oh. Um, but I am so glad that we watched it. I'm glad that I remember that it exists now, and I'm like, I would watch it again. I can't
I
lie.
would
I would
watch it
watch it
again.
again.
It was fun. I would watch it again. And like the fact that it had the quote, "Do you want to come up and look at my carpet samples?" This movie will like be engraved in me for the rest of time because of that.
Yeah, I agree. And I think before we like wrap everything up, we have to talk about the pro-trans message at the end.
Oh my god.
Post-credit scene, by the way,
Post credit
or like
scene,
mid-credit scene or something.
which crazy that a rom-com has like a mid credit scene to begin with,
Yes.
but it's basically Shirley sitting there on her job and she gets a call. And I feel like you probably remember better. What does the call
Well,
say?
the guy, it's like this guy that calls. Oh,
Oh,
girl. What? But this guy calls and he's like, I just think I like belong more as a woman. And then what does she say? She's like,
she's like,
well, honey,
I
don't use box perm or something like
don't
that.
use box perm and don't wear heels in tall grass. I was
Yes.
like,
But Nick and I, we were on the edge of our seats. We're like, is this gonna be
I
transphobic?
was
Is this gonna be
so
transphobic? Is this gonna be
I know
transphobic?
how Dolly is, and I shouldn't have felt this way,
I
but it was
know.
the '90s, so I was so nervous.
But yeah, it was cute. It was cute.
No, and it turned out really well. She
She
said
said,
trans
honey,
rights.
transition girl,
Yeah,
but stay away from that box perm.
right, right.
Um,
So, and that was like
the cherry on top, by the
we
way.
had that bad ending, and then that was the cherry on top. I was like, you know what? That was a great movie. That was a
Right.
great. I had a great
Just
time,
a pro-trans message, and then Nick and I are on board. We're like,
baby. It could be like the worst movie ever, Ant-Man: Quantumania. Put a pro-trans message at the end, and I'm like, that was a masterpiece. Criterion Collection, actually.
love.
That's all a movie needs. Thank you.
So good.
Thank you. Anyways, yeah, so it was a Nick pick for you as well, or a Gavin Havin?
It was a Gavin having to watch this movie again.
Gavin
I
having a
would
good
give
time.
it, let's see, what's something straight talk themed? I'd give it, I'm gonna say 7 box perms out of 10.
I would agree. For me, it's a 7 out of 10, or as I put on Letterboxd, 3.5 out of 5. Yeah, I had a good time. Our next episode, I don't know what it'll be on. I hope Rhinestone.
I think we gotta do it. Like,
I
I'm
don't
so
know.
curious now.
I don't know what it is about that movie that is making me so excited. I think the fact that it is like taboo and like hidden,
Mhm.
I need to get my hands on it.
Well, I've got the tapes, so let's roll them.
The tapes, the infamous tapes. Anyways, if you want some more Dolly in your life, I recommend listening to our Dolly-thon companion playlist. It's on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It's linked down in the show notes. That is good for people who just want like some niche Dolly cuts, but also people who need a good introduction. It has some of the classics in there as well. Of course, it has all of the hits from her films. I think we even did put Light of a Clear Blue Morning 90s rendition on it. Might be making that up, but I don't know. So go listen to that. It's a lot of fun. In the meantime, Gavin, where can people find you?
They can find me in the studio, on the mic, taking calls, giving my best Dolly advice.
Right.
Dr. Gavin will be there for you, so give me a call.
Okay, perfect. And if you want more of Coffee Nick's movie picks, where usually I talk about traumatizing horror films, you can find me at Coffee Nick's movie picks on Instagram. Okay, and until next time, Gavin, do you want to come up and look at my carpet samples?
Hey, I would love to.